over in UK Goosebumps here, back with another video, and today's going to be another book review. I haven't been doing too many book reviews recently, so I thought I'd start doing book reviews on books I've already read. I think the plan is now I'm probably going to start doing book reviews on books that I finish reading straight away, because I tend to kind of forget after I've read a book, after like 4 months, I tend to forget what's in there, like minor details. But when it comes to reviews, it's better to know all the details than rather just picking what you know. But yeah, today's review is going to be the first review that I've done from this series, and that is the Goosebumps Presents series. And this is the first Goosebumps Presents book I have ever actually read, and that is Goosebumps Presents Bad Hair Day. Now, the Presents books are notoriously difficult to get, especially the last 3. I'm not going to get into the rarities or anything, but they are just very difficult to find. So I only have 7, so I'm not sure how ranking videos will do with these, because I'm going to get through these really fast. So I'm not sure if I'll wait and do a ranking video when I have loads, or if I'll just do a ranking video when I've done the ones that I have. You guys can decide. I'll make a community post when the time comes. But yeah, how I'm going to do this review is going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to go over it very, very basically. Like, I'm going to be very basic with what I say, because first of all, this book is very basic. It's like 56 pages, and I don't want to spoil too much because I haven't done a review for the actual book yet. This is the Presents book. I want to do an actual OG review for this, and I don't want to spoil too much of the OG book so that the OG review feels pointless. I don't want it to feel like that. So I'll do that first, and then, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, this book is about Tim Swanson. I think that's how you say his name. I think it's Swanson. Weird last name. But hey, Tim Swanson, and basically he really loves magic. And Tim goes to this magic store with his friend Swaz. I think that's his name anyway. I can't even remember. It's like some weird name. I think it's Swaz or something like that. Foz. Such a weird name. He goes to his magic shop with his friend Foz, and they love going there. And I'm not gonna get into too much detail. The shop owner gives them tickets to go see this big Amazo show, this magician he likes called Amazo. But then he realises, the show's really late and it's a school night, so I won't be able to go. But he goes, okay, I'll sneak out. As you do, you just sneak out from your house. And it's at this place called the Midnight Mansion, all the way up on this massive hill on town. And I remember one thing about the episode that it doesn't really describe in the book. In the OG book, it describes this mansion as a massive room, and there's loads of seats, and there's loads of people in there. And then when it came to actually watching the TV episode as a kid, I got really disappointed, because I remember seeing when they went inside the mansion, there were like 5 tables with like 10 people in the Midnight Mansion. I was like, it just looks like a tiny hall. It didn't seem much like a mansion, so I was really disappointed about that. They don't seem to mention that much in this book though. But yeah, anyway, he goes to this Midnight Mansion thing, and his sister argues with him and manages to convince him to take her with him. She's really annoying, the sister, in this book. Even though it's really short, the sister's just annoying. And then basically what happens, he gets called up on stage when they're at the show. Amazo does a disappearing act, and Tim lands at the bottom of this like basement thing. He gets locked in there all night and misses all the show. Then he can't find his sister, he gets let out, he can't find his sister, so he's walking around and he finds Amazo's dressing room. So as you do, you just go into someone's dressing room. That's a bit weird, Tim, not gonna lie. Tim goes in there and he stops and he goes, Amazo, can I come in, or something like that. And this voice replies back, and he's calling him a brat and stuff, and like, beat it, kid. And Tim's like, Amazo's a bit of a jerk, you know? And he thinks it's Amazo talking. And yeah, for some reason, he sees Amazo's magic bag and is like, you know what would be a good idea? I'm going to steal it. So, of course, he steals Amazo's magic bag. So, Tim, you've snuck out from your parents' house. You've taken your, 8-year-old sister with you to a random place. You've been locked in a basement for the rest of the night. And then you've just gone to someone's dressing room and stolen their bag. Not a great start, Tim, I'm not going to lie. You're really an idiot. But yeah, Tim does all these stupid things. And his sister, he finally sees her. She's like, oh, what's this bag? And he's like, don't tell anyone, I stole Amazo's bag. So they go home, and I think either in the morning, I think they start testing out the tricks. And they test them out, and they're pretty weird. There's like one that has a rubber snake come out of the sleeve or something like that. There's like one where there's loads of handkerchiefs that are coming out. I remember in the OG book, they had one where there were a bunch of like ping pong balls, I think they were, and they just kept on coming out of this bag, and they were like thousands of them. They didn't include that in this one, I don't think, though. Anyway, they realised they got to take the bag back to Amazo. So, first sensible decision Tim has made throughout this entire book. So, he takes this bag back to Amazo. But before they manage to do that, his sister starts messing around with some of the stuff. And I'm pretty sure she goes behind this like red curtain thing and she disappears. And then in her place is this rabbit. And this rabbit starts talking, of course, as it does, as rabbits do. But the rabbit introduces itself and it's called El Sydney. And he says he's a magician and Amazo's evil and Amazo turned it into a rabbit. Because apparently Amazo stole all of his tricks. Or something like that. So they go back to the Midnight Mansion. El Sydney says, turn me into human, I'll get your sister back. Simple. Well, you think it would be. They go to the Midnight Mansion. And El Sydney gets in this like coffin thing. I'm not too sure what it is. And then Tim's annoyed because he hasn't brought his sister back. So he goes, bring my sister back. El Sydney says, go look in these magic wands. Tim looks through all these magic wands and stuff. He finds the right one. And his sister comes back. Then she runs off because she's a bit of an idiot. She just runs off. She didn't even say thank you. Very unlikable character. And then El Sydney makes Tim do some magic words or something like that. Alakazam, Alakazam, I don't even know. And turns him back into human. Then he's still in the coffin at this point, and then Amazo comes out and is like, oh, you're the kid from the Disappearing Act. Oh, look, there's my bag. You obviously stole it from me. And Tim's like, oh, yeah. Amazo doesn't seem to be bothered that his bag was taken by a kid, but who cares? And Amazo's like, oh, have you seen that rabbit? And he's like, he's very dangerous. He's an evil magician called El Sydney. He wasn't meant to be let out. So Tim's stressing at this point, and then El Sydney pops out and is like, I can't remember exactly what he says. It's something about, oh, I can like take over your show now, and you'll imagine being a rabbit, and he starts complaining and stuff. And then Amazo tries to find the magic wand, but El Sydney has it, and El Sydney turns Tim and Amazo into rabbits, and then they're in El Sydney's show. And the book ends with Tim as a rabbit being put into a guillotine, and Amazo saying, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out of this one. But we'll never know if he did or not unless he became a rabbit stew. But yeah, sorry for the vague overview. It's my final prediction, my final choice for this book would probably be a 2.5 out of 5. It's not a 2 because at least it had some details and I like the original book. It's just when it's done so fast, it can feel like loads of information put out at once. But this didn't feel like that. It felt like there wasn't a lot of information, but it was done ridiculously fast at the same time. And I feel like a lot of the Presents books will be like that. There's going to just be so much, there'll be either too much going on or not enough going on, but it will happen so quickly. And I just don't think that Goosebumps matches that type of thing. It needs to be a bit longer. They're short books anyway, but shorten them down to this. And they did then there's a few minor changes in the books, obviously, to the TV episode, to the OG books, because it's based off the TV episode. But even then, I feel like they're different to the TV episodes, but they're more closely related to the book. Because I feel like the TV episodes did pretty much depict the book as what they were, so it's difficult to find the minor details. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5 at most. And what really annoyed me was I thought the pictures would be really cool. And they're cool pictures. They're from the show, so I don't have to look online for the pictures of the show now. I can look in these. That's really cool. But the only thing is, you're halfway through the book. These pictures are only halfway through the book, and they spoil the ending, even though you're halfway. And even if you haven't read the OG book, it's a little bit that's a little bit annoying, you know? Even if you've watched the episode and everything, it's just a little bit annoying that they spoil the ending. But again, pictures are cool, so I'm not too bothered about that. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5. Present series is probably going to be a running theme like that, I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm excited to read some more, because apparently there's some good ones in here. This was apparently, from what I've been told, this is one of the lower rated ones. It's not meant to be one of the good ones, but there are some better ones. Apparently Cornwall Creeps is meant to be pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to read that one next, and I hope you enjoyed this review, and hopefully there are many more Presents reviews to come. have a good night or day, and yeah, thank you for watching.